These rate hikes were approved by the Department of Public Utilities. That's a quasi-independent state agency, but the governor gets to appoint DPU commissioners. She's asking them to roll back rates now, but a lot of people want to know, why did it take so long?
That's basically double what my car payment is, correct?
From Watertown to Worcester.
We fell off our chairs. Yeah, it's outrageous.
Electric and gas.
Why are our fees double what our actual usage is?
I've shown you customer after customer outraged by surging utility bills, fueled by delivery charges, which now cost more than the electric or gas itself. The rates up at least 30% in 2 years, approved by state regulators at the Department of Public Utilities.
The Department of Public Utilities needs to take a look at the rates right now.
Governor Maura Healey sent DPU this letter over the weekend demanding they work with gas companies to lower rates. While DPU operates independently, the governor does appoint its commissioners. You appointed 2 of the 3 current DPU commissioners. Does your administration bear some responsibility for not acting sooner on these rates?
No, I don't believe so. I mean, we have been focused on lowering costs across the board as an administration. They're an independent agency. There's a process they go through with these rate cases. We need to be looking at anything and everything we can do as a state to lower heating bills.
But the utilities say the rate hikes are needed in part to fund a range of state-mandated programs like Mass Save, which pays rebates to customers who move away from heating with fossil fuels. A new 3-year Mass Save plan is about to start, costing 25%, $1 billion more. Should that be revisited, given how high rates are?
Look, the Mass Save program, I know, is known around the country as being a really great program. It saves people a lot of money. I'm happy to have a look at that in terms of, how it's working right now in terms of the money coming in. But I would say that, Mass Save is not the issue. It's overall inflation.
Eversource customers are angry the company made $811 million in profit last year, including $291 million on gas distribution. And CEO Joe Nolan was paid $18 million in compensation. When you have a CEO like Joe Nolan making $18 million a year, should that be part of the conversation?
I have to take a look at that. I mean, CEO pay is not something that I control, but I know right now, or I believe right now, there are things that can and should be done by DPU and by the utilities to lower costs.
All right, so back to those possible rate cuts. We don't yet know how big any potential rate cuts might be, how long they would last, or when they would take effect. We do know that talks between DPU and the utilities are actively underway. We've asked again for an interview at DPU, but they turned me down.